Kaka! We are back with another reflection on the Daily Vedantic. And today we're going to be talking about negation. There are two routes to find ourselves in a place of waking up within Vedanta, of self-realization, which this philosophy says happens once in a generation. This is not something that I have experienced. I am literally just a dude talking on the internet. But after several years of study within this philosophy, there are two routes that one can take, and you can actually take them simultaneously to waking up. Through affirmation, focusing on, let's say, a mantra. Swami will actually say often that you should be repeating a mantra in the back of your mind while you're doing everything you're doing in the world. So much easier said than done, but it is like a metronome. A musician, whenever I'm playing music, I'm usually listening to a metronome to make sure that I'm on beat. I'm listening while I'm playing. While you're acting, doing, performing in the world, are you also listening? And that mantra can be an affirmation. The mantra Om, and reciting Om over and over and over again. That is the route of affirmation. And then there's the route of negation. And that is summed up in the phrase, Nati Nati. Not this, not this. This is a route to the sublime, the supreme, the divine, to waking up. When we look around us and say, okay, that's not it. That career milestone is not it. That house you can barely afford that you just got the mortgage to, that's not it. Even your own children, they're not it. Whatever you can look at, whatever you can observe, is not it. And yet that is what our consciousness is made up of. We have a conditioned consciousness, a conditioned awareness, meaning we are only aware, illusory, but still the case for nearly all of us. We're only aware of something, of this mug in my hand, of this camera in front of me. You're aware of the screen in front of you or the audio that's coming into your ears. And what this phrase, Nati Nati, says is, not this, not this. The goal, self-realization, is realizing that you are awareness itself. What does that mean? Well, let's take something like existence of this mug. For this mug to exist, existence itself, the ability to exist, must be a priori, must be there for the mug to exist. Take away all things that exist, and existence itself still exists. The same thing can be said about consciousness. Take away all objects of consciousness. Remove them from the universe entirely. That doesn't mean you've taken away consciousness itself. I'm conscious of this plane flying above my head. Take away the plane, and consciousness is still there. Nati Nati takes us to an extreme. Take away everything that you're aware of. Take away everything that you're aware of. And you are what remains. You can't affirm or say it is something. Even the mantra Om is just a pointer. It's not the truth. This philosophy is not the truth. It's described as a dreamline. It is part of the illusion. It's one of the only philosophies out there where it's so beautiful, and that a master will point to a book on this philosophy and say just so matter-of-factly, that is not the truth. Because the truth is not in words. It's not on pages. Truth is in experience. And like the lion in a dream, it's still part of the dream, but it can chase you down, roar and jump, pin you to the ground, and wake you up. It's within the dream, but it can also be that which wakes us up. Swami will tell this story at the ashram that he went into school with his daughter, and she was in elementary school, and the headmaster of the school, a Catholic school, wanted to know about this philosophy that Swami, even at that time, was well known for. And he said, the headmaster, this priest said, "So you believe that there's nothing here, that this is nothing?" And Swami didn't sense that it was a sincere effort to understand. It was more like kind of poking at a worm. But he said, "Yes, we believe none of this is real, and it is a projection." And the headmaster picked up his pen and said, "So this isn't real. What I'm holding isn't real. So you believe that there's just nothing here?" And Swami said, "Well, I wouldn't quite say nothing. Let me show you." And he picked up that pen, put it in his hand. He folded a piece of paper, put it in his hand. And he took a paperclip, put it in his hand. He said, "What do you see?" He said, "Well, I see a pen, piece of paper, and a paperclip." He said, "Okay." He took out the paperclip. He said, "What do you see now?" And the headmaster said, "Well, a pen and a piece of paper." He said, "Okay." Took out the paper. "What do you see?" He said, "A pin." He said, "So what's there?" He goes, "Well, a pin." And then Swami put the pin down, held both of his hands out, and he said, "What's there now?" And the headmaster said, "Nothing." And Swami said, "Are you sure? There's nothing there?" That is Vedanta. That is the power of negation. To see what exists beyond the objects of our consciousness. What's holding all of this together? And not only can it be experienced, but we're told that's what we are. And the illusion is thinking not only that there is a pen in front of us or a mug in front of us. The illusion is the projection of ignorance, the projection of plurality, of diversity, where there's university. That's our natural state, we are told. And how do we get back there? One route is reminding ourselves, not this, not that. Nati, Nati. We'll see you next time on the Daily Vedantic. Thanks for listening to the Daily Vedantic. This reflection is part of a free repeating 2-year course in Advaita Vedanta. Rooted in the timeless wisdom of the Upanishads, arguably the oldest philosophical texts on earth, you can begin with episode 1, which gives the 15-minute overview of the whole philosophy of Vedanta, or you can join the journey with any episode at any point. But the critical aspect of this course, of understanding and mastering anything, is to study and reflect, even for 10 to 15 minutes on the timeless each day, preferably at the start of your day. As is said in this philosophy, reflection is 100,000 times as powerful as listening. So listen, journal, sit with, discuss these concepts, or ask questions at thedailyvedantic.com with our AI-powered chatbot informed by about 700 episodes here, as regularly as one can, if you want to see clarity and peace almost effortlessly unfold in your daily life. And if it doesn't result in a near immediate increase in clarity and peace, then toss aside and feel free to never listen again. One of the things that you might notice is after 7 or 8 days in a row, this doesn't feel like a discipline. This feels like a visit with a best friend to dive into the timeless with daily reflection. Within a few days, it becomes one of your favorite parts of the day. You can also find out more, including news about in-person events in Los Angeles and beyond, at the Daily Vedantic on Instagram or through our weekly newsletter at thedailyvedantic.com. Additionally, check out the links in our show notes for more resources like the books that are mentioned most frequently in the episodes, including Vedanta Treatise, perhaps the simplest and most straightforward read on this philosophy I've ever come across. Until next time, and from the entire team that works on the Daily Vedantic project, thanks for listening.